Dear students, my name is Andrei Semenets. I am Associated Professor of Medical Informatics Department in TNMU Medical University, and in this lesson I will try to introduce you into development of queries for medical databases. We will use Microsoft Access Database Management System, and we will try to create query by using a visual tool. I expect that you already have read materials about query development. Without that materials, you will be impossible to be successful in this case. In brief, query it's tool which allow ask database about data. Major things that you can assign, multiply conditions and criteria and retrieve data which met this criteria. Generally speaking, by using criteria, you can do everything in database. But in this case, you will need to learn SQL programming language to create advanced queries, for example, to develop database and insert data. So, in this lesson, we will consider only one kind of query, select query, and we will consider only way by using design view how to create. So reason is retrieve information from database according to series of criteria. So before further processing, please read materials, which is this document, which is published in Moodle. So I expect you did it, and now I will open my demo database, which have a couple of tables. As you can see, here we have tables with data and a label correctly create relationship. And I will follow general scheme which is represented in your task. But my example will be similar, but not exactly the same as given within this list. So every time I will follow this document on query development, and I will try to depict general classes of tasks here. Let's start. Before we will start with query, ensure that for you displayed all database objects. Now you can see not only tables but queries too. And let's start with query by using query designer. So under create, click query designer and you will have it. Every time when you start new query, for you will be given show table dialog, and you must select your source, data source from where you will retrieve your information. In your task, data source every time provided. Check your task, and here is you will have create query based on particular table, like here employee. So let's choose it in employee. If you need to select more than one table, ensure that you will have select each one table only once. Added, close. So not allowed to add multiply copies of single table. Different you can. Next point. Query window consists of two parts. Above we have list of tables with relationships. Below your further results, your further record set, which you will build from your source. As you can see right now it's empty. You must add the fields from your table into your output, into your record set. Sometimes in task, list of fields provided, sometimes not. If not provided, attention, use your logic to analyze task and identify useful fields to represent humanly readable information. In this case, I need to display like first name, last name, double click, simple way to add each one next field into my list. First way, last name, job title, phone number, nationality, department ID. Let's do it. Or I can drag and drop, or I can choose table and choose fields, department ID. Once I have added fields in the record set, I can check how my query works. I strongly recommend every time save query before you will run into, you will try to execute it. So save. even name according to task, and start, run. As for me, retrieve and returned records from employee table, all records, just not all fields, only fields that I have selected. So I can close my query, double click to open it again. As you can see, it immediately executed. If you want back into Designer, right click and turn into design view. So every time you can switch, as usually in Microsoft Access, you can switch between different views. Dataset, SQL, yes, programming language, and design. We are already back into design. What's next? It's provide advanced settings like condition, sorting, or aggregation, or calculation, whatever you need. In this case, for example, let's introduce with sorting and condition. Regarding to sorting, it's relatively easy. You can have a special row, sort row, and you can provide ascending, descending, or not sorted fields. So quite easy. Ascending, for example, by first name, back into Designer, by two fields, no problem, as you can see, every time order change it. Or again, I move sorting only for last name. Quite easy. Much more important, it's work with criteria condition. As you can see, we have row criteria, we have row or, and we have multiply rows unlabeled. All these rows dedicated to create condition. Moreover, each one cell you can provide more than one condition by combining them with or and logical function. So dozens, 100 conditions allowed. You can create very complex structures to retrieve only very specific information from the database. Be careful with this. And its main power and main purpose of select query. In this particular case, I must select by nationality. So here I'm asking about American. Where is I have something about American? When I execute this query, it's obviously should be nationality field, which I forget to add. No problem. Double click, add nationality. If I need rearrange fields, I can even move it and place into proper position whenever I want to do it. Check this, and I have, yes, American, British, Spanish, different nationalities. So just one case I can type, double copy paste, type. For example, I want to select persons who are Americans. Copy paste this text, put into nationality, into cell below nationality column, into criteria row. When I left column, pay attention, automatically string conditions surround with double quotation mark. Run, and I have only records match my condition. Attention, right now, not all records returned from database, only the records which match my condition, equal to American. Last one, British, its default value, it's empty row, default value only, so it's not a data row. Much more about how to construct condition you can read into materials since page 4. Since page 4, actually, almost everything related to how to create condition, how to create different type of criteria condition, strong, not strong, comparison operators, all around it, how to use a logical function criteria condition, and so on. So please read this. Without it, impossible to be successful. Okay, I will continue. So I have changed, I say change of my query, actually almost complete. Similar way, I can create other condition. For example, I will create one more simple query. So I close this one. I can start again by using create query designer. One time I show another way. I will duplicate existing. Just copy and paste. I will be asked about another name. I create copy of my previous query, and I can edit it and change condition. For example, imagine I no longer want to select by nationality, select, as you can see, select by header, delete. And I want to select by department ID. Attention, in this table, department ID, it's an integer number. It's not name of department. If you check employer table, you will see that department ID contain ID of department. If you want to select by name, you must link department table where corresponded key value join it with department name, string department name. Okay. Anyway, for example, I will use 200 department. You can use equal, less than, greater than. If you omit comparison operator, equal used. So equal 200 and just 200, they are both equivalent. Save my query and run it. So I got persons who work into particular department. Okay, next one, query. Next one, query. Type of query, wildcard characters. Instead of strong condition, I can create non-strong, which is get all records who's similar to particular, not exactly equal, greater, smaller, but similar to. Okay, to do it, let's create new one, like start. So first name or last name start with particular character. Let's do it. This time I will create query by designer. Sorry, it's not proper things I did. Query designer. Again, I use employer as data source. This time in task not provided strict list of fields. Okay, just readable things. First name, last name. I must select by first or last name. Yes. Job title. Enough for this case. Okay, I want to start everybody who's, for example, first last name start with H character. No problem. So H and asterisk start. As you can see immediately access add special criteria, special SQL language operator like, and enclose my condition within double quotation mark. So how work asterisk start? It's replace all characters from given position to end of strings if it's placed at end of string condition, or all characters from the beginning to the particular position. Again, more about this, check in section about particular material about wildcard characters. Here is given, page 5. Get back. Save my query. And I get this two person whose last name starts with H character, has been started with H character. Similar way, you can make selection by job title. I will not show this, try on your own. And please use example, which is given here about ball. Quite similar to question about job title. Move forward, please. So next question will be to combine several conditions. In real database, in real query, most time we no need to create simple condition. We need to create very complex condition, and we need to join multiply condition with and or logical function. I will show for you this. One more time, I will create new one query. Design view, employer. So first name, last name, job title. Okay, should have it enough. Let's show me each person. example, department ID, who. So first of all, general rule. If we put multiply condition in single row, they every time join with logical function AND. And final record set will get records which match all condition return true. If you put condition into different row, like one, let's depict this, okay, like I want everybody who's work in department, in sales department, as I remember, and whose first name, for example, start with M, and whose first name start with M character, like this one. I have provided two conditions, but in single row. So final record set will have only two records, because only two records match both my condition. Get back and save this, like. And let me change it, customize it, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and I will use condition like 2. Back in design, and for example, I will move one of this condition, one row below. So I execute it, I have absolutely different result, because now in final record set will be included records which match or one condition about first name or second condition about matching department ID. All records whose match at least one of this condition is added into final record set, and I will get this. We can combine and, for example, select, for example, I will try to select that person from different department. All person from different department who match particular first name, first character. Anyway, only same result. Maybe another. Let me provide some. No, let me left much more complex condition, no problem. I know that's such. Okay, I have this. From one department I will select by M character as first and first name, from other as K. And I got 3 records matched my complex condition. So here is example how logical function AND and OR work. If you want to see that logical function, switch into skill mode, and you will see your query as according to programming language SQL. So here is all this AND, OR, and AND again. Here is we have it. I did it without like development code. I did it only by using visual tool. Okay, another example, another task, another example. Date time. Here is several different tasks. So actually very easy, quite easy to create condition about date. Again, check example. Here is given fine example how to use date into criteria condition in task. Just notice, I will create one more query in design view. Again, employee, first name, last name, birthday. Like I want to get everybody who born since 1950 or 1960. birthday should be, first of all, if you examine date of birth into database, so you will see that here given date. So we must turn each condition into date condition, and we must enclose any date criteria with hashtag. Means born since 1960. It actually means that born since 1st of January. Let's do it. 1st of January 1960. Save it and execute. So we have list of such person. Back designer, save. Similar way you can create much more complex condition. You can provide, if necessary, a logical function inside cell and so on. To implement, for example, between and less than, for example, 9070. Okay, here is this one condition, I have it. So, within 10 years. Within 10 years. Okay. Maybe here even include a small mistake. I must include the 1st of January. And exclude the 1st of January of 1970s. Okay, good. So I want to save it under new name as another query. Okay, good. Second, one more query. Let's show. Let's show another example. Like check fields is it they have or doesn't have any kind of value. No is null or not is null field available, but you see it also with counting. So create one more query. Gain employer. They are spoken about show fields disability. Disability. A person have or doesn't have disability. When I will run it, so it will be like logical function, yes, no, check in, check not. So it will be not working classical true, null, not null condition. We need like to display who have disability, we need to check if it's true. If this field true, who doesn't have, false. Like this. If you will try, for example, is not null, it doesn't work. We have all fields because both true and false, it's existing value. So to get person who have disability, we need logical condition true. Okay. And one more example. Let's remove this. Now classic null, not null. Who doesn't have for the number? Here is we have condition is not null. Is null, I'm sorry. If for the number not provided, field must be null. No any value, nothing. We have sorry, for the number, of course. For the number, not nationality. We have single one such person without any value in for the number field. It's quite unusual it doesn't have for the number. It's modern time. Okay. One more example about different condition, parameter queries. So you can on the fly filter your data set with criteria condition. Let me show for you example. Still employer table, last name, for example, department ID. I want to select department on the fly, and every time with one query select display person for different departments. So I in square brackets, in criteria row in square brackets, I will just write my question that I ask one, that ask this field, not table, this particular field, and run my query. So I'm asking about input department. I got sales department. When I will execute one more time and I provide this department, I will have another list of another department employees, like this way. Let's show me one more specific example which I actually miss. It's calculated fields or criteria for calculated fields. For example, person who born in particular months. Let's show me this. Employee, table again, first name, last name, birthday. Actually, birthday doesn't work this to select. Okay, I left it. I have specific tool to create condition. I must provide function. I must provide function for this. So list of function, you can do it with builder. For you will be given available list of function, built-in function, for example, date and time. And I have select, for example, months function. Sorry, date and time, months, and I will use my, okay, let me take it. As date, for sure, I must use field DOB. In square brackets, I must provide DOB. So copy paste this. As you can see, expression given for me in this field. So when I run my query, they are given a number which refer to month number. Get back into design view and, for example, create equal May 5. As you can see, I will show person who born in May. Quite easy. So again, save. One more example. And final example will be related to data aggregation, data grouping and aggregation. So this time we will use two tables, more than one table. Department and employee and a time. Create design view. Department, employee. We have two tables, department name. And for person, department town, for example, I will take, and staff ID I will take only from second field. So when I run this query, it will be not very useful because I will have repeated each one department name so many times as employees work here. Let me show first name, last name. So now I see not only use staff first name, last name, but also department they belong to, name of this department, and the city where it's located. But my question is another. I want to know, for example, number of person per each department. So I no need person names, no longer need person name. So I will again remove first name, last name. Anyway, I still have repeated value because staff ID is unique value for each department, for each staff member. So I need enable grouping and data aggregation field. When I press this button, special row being added into criteria condition total, and I can add or use a group or I can add function. Group means repeated value will be grouped and shown one time. Even this time nothing changed because staff ID have every time unique value, its primary key. Let's calculate something. For example, how many person do we have? Apply count function. And I will have this one. So I will know how many person work in each one particular department. Same way I can calculate specific statistics if I need it. Like even basic descriptive statistic parameters given here. For sure it's not applicable for staff ID, but for example, it could be applicable if you want made query for salary table. Thank you for your attention.